You mentioned that you were more of a WCW guy at the time, and I'm sure with the prospect of, maybe being out of work at Continental or going back to World Class, but probably for not very much money. Would that be fair to say? This is probably like a godsend to get this call from Shane, but are you also wondering, am I going to have to wear pink tights and carry a skateboard? Or what's
so Shane, he was offering an idea.
Okay.
He wasn't saying they want you. He said, I believe he said, there are some guys here who are familiar with you. You're only 4 hours away. I think it was in Montgomery. It might be 3.5 or so, but definitely a drive. And that he just said it would really be helpful to get your face seen. And it turned out to be very prudent advice, because that's exactly what happened. People were familiar, and it did result in a tryout match 2 weeks later.
Talk to me about that. We've a lot of us fans have read that sometimes guys just show up to a show looking for work. And you would hear old-timers who maybe had been there before say, well, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be seen as one of those guys. And I even heard Booker T on his podcast give advice to some of his students before, where he said, don't go and do, maybe I'm misquoting this, but the gist was, if you're always available to do the WWE enhancement work, they'll never really take you seriously and give you a real shot. So if you're just an extra, and I realize the business has changed, because you did some of that enhancement work early on and it worked out, but there were a lot of years in between.
And I only went when I was booked.
Right.
So listen, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Right. That not only worked for me in 1989 when I showed up uninvited to center stage, but it worked for me as well when I went to the Great American Bash in '91 as a fan. Sat in the 6th row, and then word got to me. I think Barry Windham somehow got word to me. And Barry, I barely knew Barry, so he wasn't doing this because I was a buddy of his. Barely knew Barry at the time. That sounds like a tongue twister.
It is.
He said, you might want to go back and, talk to Dusty. You might even get a job out of it. But I might be confusing that one with when I went to a WCW house show and was talking to Magnum. But I had made 2 appearances, and that's about all you should do, I think. I don't think you want to be the guy that's there so much that you become a nuisance.
Right, you're in the way.
Yeah, instead of a person of interest. But I was really lucky that Corny was there, JR was there, even a guy like Rip Morgan was like, love the elbow. And there were, I was lucky, World Class, WCCW, did not pay well. But it gave me a great amount of exposure and made me, in some sense, like a national and even international star, because they had that like a network of, I think, 100 syndicated stations. You know, they had a good syndicated package. Blue Chew, should we talk?
I mean, right as well, right? It seems like a good spot as any. Hey, let me ask you, what's that process look like? I mean, I know that you were fortunate enough that people recognized you and were fans of your work and all that, but it can't just be as simple as, hey, I'm Cactus Jack and Shane Douglas told me to come by.
I think it was.
Really?
I don't know how I got in the door, but it's been said that if you walk in with a bag,
confidence,
and a bag and a mask, you can get into any backstage area.
Well, yeah, I probably shouldn't speak on that, but if you walk anywhere with confidence, like you're supposed to be there, they're going to let you.
It helps. It helps literally open some doors.